Welcome to this episode of Movement is Mandatory. Today we're going to talk all about how to get rid of that nagging low back pain. All the equipment you're going to need is your body. So in the next 8 to 10 minutes, we're going to help you get over those tightness, that stiffness, that pain that's causing that low back pain. So let's get going. All right, guys, let's get going with getting rid of this back pain. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on getting some of that glute to start engaging more. The biggest issue we see when it comes to low back pain is that we have overactive hip flexors. And what that does is once these start getting super overactive, or they're constantly firing, or they're being overused, then that creates this torque or this tension that is then placed onto that lower back. And that's where a lot of times we start seeing these issues pop up from low back. So number one thing we need to do to get rid of that using our body weight is we got to get that glute activation back. So what we're going to do is be on our sides, and we're going to start on our right side. And what we're doing is we're going to place our toes down towards the floor, our left toes, and our left knee slightly bent. And all we're going to do is just raise our leg up towards the ceiling. And when we raise it up, what we're trying to do is get it up in line with our body and slightly back. So to see from this angle, I'm keeping my body forward, and then I'm just raising that leg up and slightly back at this angle. What we don't want to do is go forward. So we're going to do about 20 of these. So you're going to hit about 20 reps, just working through that range of motion. Now, it doesn't matter if this is the side that hurts or not, or if it's in the middle. We're going to do both sides. So I'm going to get about 5 more reps. We're looking for that good burn right in that back pocket area. That's where we're going to see the biggest issues. And then after we do about 20, we're going to flip over. We're going to do 20 on this side. Same thing, a little bit forward my body. My knee is slightly bent. My toes are forward. And I'm just trying to get that foot up through that angle. You can keep the bottom knee bent a little bit. That just helps create a better stabilizing brace. But we're really trying to focus on keeping that tension in that top back pocket. And I keep my hand there just so that helps me feel where I need to feel it. And if you start getting fatigued before 20, take a break. But we are trying to shoot for about 20 reps. Really get that burn. We don't want to feel it so much in the quad. That's why we keep our knee bent. So after about 20, we're going to flip over back to the other side and do one more set with this. What we're doing is we're really helping teach our brain how to stop firing that hip flexor and fire more of that glute. And that's where it's going to be a real good burn that you feel in that cheek. You want to make sure you're not arching your back at all through this process. Everything is just in that hip. And that's where you can see my legs starting to drop a little bit. So I'm just going to squeak out 1 or 2 more reps. Again, we're looking for about 20. If you don't hit it, that's okay, especially on the second time, because things are starting to fatigue. But the burn, that fatigue, as long as it's in that back pocket, we're sitting pretty. We're in the right spot. Same thing on this side, and this should not hurt. This should just feel like you're getting a good engagement through all those hip muscles. So it should not cause any tightness, should not cause any pain. You're trying to get up as high as you can while you control that motion. Get one more. Good, all right, so that's the sideline leg raise. Now we're going to go to a plank position. And this plank position is going to be hands and knees. And what we're looking to do is we're going to slouch, or we're going to try to tuck our tail or our butt underneath of us, so we try to keep those lower abs engaged. And lower abs is belly button and below. We're going to turn our left foot out, so it's outside of our knee, and we're going to kick out. I'm not kicking up, I'm kicking out, trying to stay parallel with the floor. And I'm, again, trying to do about 20 reps And as I kick out, what I should feel is that glute. So as I get out to here, I should feel that glute and that hamstring firing. Now it's really important to make sure your foot stays outside of your knee. In this position, we're really trying to work more of that glute medius and that glute max muscle. And when we keep our foot outside of our knee, that really helps keep that hip flexor and that quad turned off. So after we do about 20 on that side, same thing on this side. 20 reps. Just trying to keep that good position so my trunk stays nice and stable. My foot is outside of my knee. And I'm just keeping everything in line, engaged. I feel that good tension right through my hips. About 5 more reps. Again, 20 reps is the goal. 20 reps is a nice, good number when we do these open chain bodyweight movements to really get a good burn, especially if we're doing it in this controlled fashion. So now, we're gonna go back, just like we did with the first exercise, we're gonna do another 20 reps. Just really controlling the motion, not going super fast, super slow. It's you move, you control what your body does, not vice versa. About 8 more reps. Now as you do this and you feel that tension in your hips, still keep in mind keeping your butt tucked. The more you tuck your butt underneath, the more you can feel those lower abs. And that's another component of making sure those hip flexors turn off and we can feel those abs working. All right, now back to the other side. So re-tuck if you need to, which is fine. But now I should really feel lower abs. I should feel cheek. I should feel a little bit of hamstring. And just really working through that range of motion. Still keeping my leg parallel to the floor. I'm still not kicking up. That's the biggest thing I see issues with doing these type of planks when there is back pain involved or tightness involved, is people go too far up into the kick, and you're just using too much of your back. So that's why I like staying parallel to the floor. So after we've done that exercise, the last thing we're gonna do is a bridge. So we're gonna do a single leg bridge. So what that is we're gonna bring our right knee tight to our chest. Our left foot is gonna be slightly outside of our knee. Our knee is gonna be inside of our foot. So again, we're in this knee in position. From here, I'm driving my foot down through the floor as hard as I can. And I'm trying not to let that knee out. With this, we're only going to shoot for about 10 reps because this is meant to be a little bit more difficult. There's a little bit more force involved. So see from this angle, I'm making sure my knee doesn't go out like this because then it's all hip flexor. If that knee stays in, even if I shift a little bit, that's okay. But now I can really get all that glute, that hamstring really firing, and I'm hyper focused. I'm pushing through my entire foot, particularly that big toe, keeping that big toe down. That's one thing you're gonna hear me say a lot of is big toes. So this after 10, switch sides. This is nice, tight to my chest. This foot is outside of my knee is inside of my foot, and I drive up. And just trying to control that motion. This leg remains motionless, so I can really focus on just pushing down through that foot on the ground to get that glute and hamstring to fire. Got 2 more reps. Perfect. So we're gonna do 2 more sets on each side with this. I'm just gonna switch this way. So I'm trying to get my knee or my foot as close to my butt as I can. That helps to get that quad in a lengthened position, which really helps to turn off that hip flexor. You should not feel your back at all with this. If you do, tighten that knee that you're holding. It's more likely you're just jetting it out and you're just arching your back to try to help get a little bit higher.
go to where you can. A lot of times, your butt may barely get off the ground, which is fine. Got 2 more reps. We're just trying to get our brain to muscle connection to connect with how we drive through the foot. Got another 7 reps on this side. And you can see on me, my right side is easier than my left side just because I am a righty. And you may feel the same thing at home too, that non-dominant side is more difficult, which should be the case. The non-dominant side should always be slightly harder. 1 more rep. Good. All right, guys, let's do 1 more set on each side. Keep that knee tight, that toe out, and drive that foot down into the ground. By now, your butt should be getting a little higher off the ground. You might feel a little bit of cramping in your hamstring, or you might have felt it up to this point. That's okay. That just means that this glute muscle is fatiguing, that hamstring's taking a little bit more work, but that's something we can work through. Something we can try to get a little bit better control of as we do a couple more reps. Let's get 1 more. All right, same thing with this right side. 10 more reps, guys. Trying to get that engagement through the hips. Really trying to push down through that foot. The more connection you make with your foot, the more connection you're going to make with your hip. Good. 4 more reps. Things should be burning, which is perfect. Last one. All right. Now, let's have you stand back up. Let's just check. Let's just check your toe touch. Let's just see how much easier does that feel to get down, to go arms up, and bend backwards. It should feel less tight, less painful in that back area or wherever you're feeling that pain or stiffness. But the main thing with this is that we really focus on getting that stress back to where it needs to be, which is crucial when you're dealing with anything low back in nature. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, tell your friends about it. We're going to be posting every day something new that can help you make movement mandatory.